So we have some important math words here related to our graphing on the coordinate plane. We have the word origin, x-axis, y-axis, ordered pair, and coordinate plane. And we want to locate those terms in the right places of this diagram. I'd like to start way down here at what we call the starting place. Do you notice this arrow is pointing to the spot right at 0? Scarlett, do you notice that this 0 is the place where the line called X and the line called Y intersect, where they meet, where they cross? That crossing spot at 0 is called the origin. So join me in labeling that spot the origin. You might have heard that word if somebody talks about like where their family comes from way back in history. Like they might say our family origins are from Ireland, or our family's origins are from Vietnam, like their grandmas and grandpa came from Vietnam and now they're Americans, right? Your origins might be where your family started. And that word origin in math is where we always start working on the coordinate graph. It's like a starting place. We get a chance to explain in words what the origin is. So what do you want to write there? What kind of words might we write so we remember what the origin is or what it means? What do you think, Cannon?
The origin is like the starting place.
Okay, let's write that. It's the starting place. And let's put its address. In parentheses, let's put this address is 0, 0. If you go nowhere on the X and you go nowhere on the Y, you're right at the starting place. It's also the place where X meets Y. So I'm going to write that as well, where X meets Y. When you've got all of those important ideas about origin written down, thumbs up signal will let me know that you're ready to look at a different term on the graph. We're done with origin. I'm going to check it off so I know we've used that already. We don't need to use it again. My friends in the back, I can't see your papers. I'm trusting that when you have your paper looking like mine, you're giving a thumbs up that you're ready. If you can't see from your spot, you can come closer. The next thing I think we should talk about is this starting line that goes side to side, labeled with an X. What term do you think we might call this line with an X on it? What do you think might be a good idea there, Nathan? Yep, let's call it the X-axis. Axis is just a fancy word for line. You might have heard that when you talk about a globe or the earth having that imaginary line that goes through the center of the earth. Ms. Delancey probably talked to you about how earth spins on its axis, right? That means this imaginary straight line. Isn't this also kind of an imaginary straight line? So we use the same word, axis. It's the same kind of word that you use when you talk about Earth's rotation in science. This x-axis is a line that is going which direction? Up and down or side to side? So let's call it the side to side. A math word for that is horizontal. The side to side horizontal line, 0. If this was Renee's ceiling, this is the wall, right? His wall would have been 0. And then the first line he drew, he called it 1, then 2, then 3. So this side-to-side horizontal line at 0 is our x-axis. Math should make sense. Does that make sense? All right. X, check. So if the side-to-side zero line is the x-axis, what are we going to call the zero line that goes up and down? Up and down like a yo-yo. What are we going to call that one, Allison? Yep, we're going to call that one the y-axis. The y-axis isn't side to side, it is the up and down line. What's the math word that means up and down direction? Yeah, vertical. The up and down vertical line, 0. This would be like the other wall of Renee's bedroom. Over here we have two numbers separated by a comma inside of parentheses. Are we going to call that an ordered pair or the coordinate plane? This little pair of numbers? Yeah. A pair is a set of two, right? And so we call this little set of numbers an ordered pair. Sometimes they'll call it a coordinate pair, or they'll just say coordinates. The ordered pair are directions of how to move on the graph. They describe a point on the graph. They describe a spot on the graph. Like your address describes where your house is or where your apartment is. So the ordered pair is like a little address. And then this whole system that René Descartes thought up to solve one of his problems is called the coordinate plane. Not airplane plane, but a flat surface plane. A flat surface like his ceiling or his floor or our piece of paper. So here the whole thing is called the coordinate plane. And that's what we're learning about this next week or two. We're learning about using the coordinate plane to show math relationships. So how could we describe, what do we mean when we say coordinate plane? We could say this is a graphing plan. A graphing plan to locate points. On a flat surface. The Coast Guard would use something similar if you think about the ocean as a flat surface. If they're trying to go rescue a boat that is in distress, they're going to have a coordinate pair that tells them exactly where that ship is having trouble. So in the great big Gulf of Mexico surface of the water, they can go find the person that needs help. Our little directions on our phones, when your parents put in someone's address to get directions how to get to your friend's house or how to go to a new place you've never been before, those systems work by using coordinate graphing, by using lines on the map to find exact locations. In the math class, we use the coordinate plane to show math relationships as pictures. What you're going to want to do with this vocabulary is glue it into your math notebook.